I'm kind of like sitting here, like all excited to stream. I'm like, I'm in a good mood. I'm singing along to Lady Gaga, and then as soon as I start rolling, I'm just like speechless, leaving myself speechless. I can't imagine being any of you. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's just roll the ads. Let's just. Okay. Okay. Are we lurking or are we cool, chill, gonna chat? I'm just kidding. It's fine. I'm happy to have you here regardless. Okay, so um, today is arguably the last day of Pisces season while simultaneously being the first day of Aries season. I feel like whenever I ask someone or am speaking astrology, everybody unanimously agrees that Aries season starts the 20th, but if you ask someone born that day, they're like, no, I'm a Pisces. So I'm like, okay, I feel like they really have authority. Like, today's the last day of Pisces season. It's probably one of those things where the sun transitions into its respective sign at a specific time. And I don't know if it changes every year or if it's like it just depends. I'd have to look into that. I'm not an astrologer, right? 444. So it might be that some years it starts earlier and is more of the 20th, and some years it's later and is less of the 20th. I don't really know. But anybody that you ask that's born on the 20th will tell you that they're Pisces. So I'm like, all right, I guess the 20th is the last day of Pisces season, which means we finally made it. So we can be done with this gothic clowncore crying energy that everyone's like, oh no, I bottled stuff up and now the bottle's broken. What am I gonna do? Hit the bottle. Good for you. I'm not laughing at anybody. I don't even know. I was not in such a chipper cheery mood today. I was just kind of, I would say, lazing around. I didn't have a whole lot to do. I try to like pace my weeks, and not get exhausted from streaming, and also recognize that different points in my cycle mean different pains in my body. So I'm like, okay, today's pain, hey, space bats, today's pain is that deep sensitivity that feels like pins and needles all throughout my muscles. So I lazed around today. At least I showered, right? Made it outside. Started the stream super late. But I was like, kind of also just sitting in Pisces energy, being like, okay, well, the rest period now is over. The rest period now is over. So here we go. It's about to be Aries season, and as much as we're all grateful that we made it and we're like so done with this kind of, I don't want to say it's crappy energy, and I am very high. Just like, okay, I'm so high because again, the body pains. I'm trying to just relax. I'm trying not to dig into my sensitivities and insecurities right now, because I have heightened senses, right? To the point of paranoia, where you feel everything, so you're like, oh my god, is that on purpose? No, probably not. But I'm so high that I am just now realizing that when you said hi, you said hi. I like didn't notice the first time when I said, hey, space pants. I didn't notice that you spelled. Oh, so yeah, I'm high. I went back and thought it was really funny that you did that. Right. So that's why there's like speculation that because no one knows why PMDD happens, that it's because when people who are assigned female at birth or autistic, they like can't handle the hormonal swings as well as like other people who have to do that. Which I kind of believe, because I'm like, yeah, I do seem like that might be the case. But either way, they also speculate PTSD, and I'm like, that covers it, really? Sure. Or things like ADHD, which is me attention seeking, I guess. So, or self-diagnosing. But I feel you. So I'm only really sensory sometimes. Other times I'm like, hit me. It's like, what? Fine, I'll do it myself. It's like, Tyler Durden, what are you doing? And I'm like, can't feel shit. It's crazy. I'm like, make the lights brighter, and then sometimes like, sit in the dark. It's nuts. It's like all over the place. And I forget like when I'm gonna be like what, if that makes sense. Because I always underestimate the pain that comes with, like, the opposite, the new moon phase of the womb cycle. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. I'd like to get to the bottom of it, and since you think you're a real alien, I think it's really a consequence of alien abductions that's happened to a handful, or, not a handful, it's like hundreds of thousands of people affected with this PMDD, right? It would kind of make sense that if you were being used as some kind of host for some species that could incubate life faster than the human world does, that you would have more intense cycles menstrually or creationally than you would if you were not being experimented on in that way. Just a theory, but a good one, right? Mary being, what do they call that? Ground zero. Point blank. What do you call the first one? The Lucy. Mary is the, I know. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been studying. I've been in those groups. I've talked to other people who deal with the same thing. And I'm like, my conclusion seems about as accurate or as Patient Zero. Not patient. Well, sort of. But yeah, I guess that is what I was going for. Not Ground Zero, you fucking more. What the fuck? You fucking W lover. Just kidding. I don't really love George W. Bush. I just like do sort of see some weird there, you know? That's beside the point. That Ground Zero joke is not, it's not funny. We're all praying for me. We're all praying for me. Let's just put it that way. It's not a compliment to be compared to Rick Sanchez or Joe Rogan, right? So you gotta like tame the beast. But being self-aware is like the first step, and changing is the rest of the battle. Wouldn't you say? That so speaks to whose soul? Somebody thought, that speaks to my soul, but there was nothing said. Okay, so, anyways, I have a few things in mind, 11/11, for tonight that does involve tarot. So I've been like collecting cards off the ground when I'm doing readings, and I shuffle and something hits the floor. I like put it aside and it becomes a future cards, like it's something that's in the distance. So this week I just collected them and left them out for the past couple days, and I'm gonna like read them all together, which I've never really done because I feel like having decks out is too complicated, but I might start doing this where I just put them aside for a week and then come Sunday, maybe. Right? It does sound fun. So we're going to do that. And then because we're going to be, okay, so today's the last day of Pisces season. Tomorrow, but today's also the spring equinox, I think, or is tomorrow? I thought it was tomorrow. I thought both were tomorrow, but I think today, the 20th. Anyway, yeah, it's today, this evening. So really, the new year is Tuesday. Like, it's the spring equinox, so it's the new season, but then, like, it's Pisces season. So, like, I don't know, Monday evening is when it kind of becomes new year, new Aries season. But yeah, I mean, I guess they gave one to Pisces for having the short week. It's the 21st. This says the 19th. So basically, yeah, 20th right there. It's fine. It probably depends on the time. So tonight, I romanticize strangers myself, I would say. I think I romanticize, personally. And I think that's a Taurus thing. Because Venus, and I think with Pisces, they are more romanticizing, like you said, like people. But I have that Pisces tendency sometimes because my moon is Aquarius, but I was born while the moon was transitioning from Aquarius to Pisces because I am hanging by a thread in that Aquarius, but the Aquarius vibe is so strong because it's my Lilith too, and they have like a pole that just cannot be broken. So tonight we're looking at like the past, kind of. We don't want to fixate on it. We're going to look at the cards that are down from this week are going to be like probably this week ahead, because if they were the future cards last week, it's like the update. But tonight we're going to pick a couple decks and we'll go through and look at, I think the Thoth deck makes sense. We're going to look at the past year and how it related to the past 10 years. So I kind of feel like the initiation deck would be appropriate. But that feels like the deck for tomorrow. So maybe we'll go with guides or something. It's not necessarily how Lilith placements work, but I feel like sometimes, you know how when you just got two of the same placements and it can create a fucking vortex, kind of, if that makes sense. But your Lilith is said to be your dark moon, or like the host of your most inner, sickest mind, your most private self. So, yes and no. I think for me, it literally does create this like pull throughout my entire being. It's like a literal pull of Aquarian energy, which does make me annoying. I'm social, but bad at keeping friends. um, and I think when it comes to romanticizing strangers, I'm very into. I'm like the type to romanticize fictional characters for sure. Like I can't even pretend like I didn't have a Dick Casablancas phase and almost ruined my life over it. Not really, but could have. Um, yeah, I'm really mixed up. The only double I have is Aquarius and Aries. I think it shows. But I think the Taurus is strong. Then the Scorpio rising is strong. And I kind of hide some of my other placements. Like my Mars and Pisces. People think I'm very vicious, I think. But I'm a crybaby. So, this shit sucks, by the way, and I hate to say it because I was like hopeful that this was like actually good. It's natural caffeine, organic cane sugar, no preservatives, naturally flavored, powered by maca. Wow, an energy drink, and that's great. It was pretty much the same price as any energy drink. It's pineapple mango sounds delicious, but let me tell you, this shit tastes so weird. It almost just tastes like cane sugar. But not in a good way. It's like sugar that sat too long, maybe. I don't know how to explain it. It's like carbonated. It's like if you melted, you got pineapple mango rock candy, and then you melted it and added it to carbonated water. That's what this tastes like. And it leaves that fucking weird old sugar taste in your mouth. Like I don't know. It's a specific unpleasant experience. Maybe like old Halloween candy. It's giving old Halloween candy. Like one of those like wrap candies. It's again like pineapple flavored that just sat for too long, and when you bite it, it starts to dissolve more than it does chew. That is what that but liquid, carbonated and caffeinated. I think the caffeine is working. It like hit instantly in my stomach. I fluttered out my body. I was like, "Holy shit, this is some good caffeine. This is like probably some sacred stuff." That's why I saved it for the stream. But it a little bit tastes like that. But would I buy it again? Maybe. I got another one that is sugar free. So we'll have to see like if the sugar free one is better than the one with cane sugar. But like I would low key probably buy it again because I kind of dig it and I feel like it's that good kind of caffeine. Oh, but it tastes like bad Halloween candy for sure. Yeah, it's so bizarre. No, I think they just don't add anything. I think it's just all natural flavors and stuff, and they just don't add. It's organic still. I'd have to check the ingredients, but no, I think there's no substitute sugar. It's just an unsweetened energy drink. So we'll see. Because it's ginger and peach, and ginger's a really strong flavor, so I think it's supposed to be just like a little bit more of a bitter thing. Yeah. So sorry, did not mean to like go on a tangent, but also I like to get on here and kind of express myself and just say whatever I'm thinking to get it out before we get into the reading so that my own mind isn't the dominating force. Thank you. I appreciate that. We will be getting to tarot, but if you're new and just lurking or anything, the pink box is when we're just kind of in chat mode. And once the turquoise box is on the screen is when there will be like tarot cards active. But I don't do personal readings anyway, so don't hold your breath. Sometimes it does feel very personal though, I will admit. Yeah, so true. That's why I love Geminis. I really like there are days I do not want to be spoken to and I sit in silence. But then there are times I just never like I do not shut the fuck up. I can out talk some of the Geminis in my life. Um But that's why I've got so many around me, because there's always one that is willing to talk, and then you can just like tap each other out. My faves. So other things on my agenda tonight. I've cleaned up a spell jar that I had, and I have these in there, and I think what I want to do is write some stuff that I want to get rid of in the new year and bring into fruition in the new. Leave in the last year and bring it to fruition for the next year. Like each side, and then burn them, right? I don't know if maybe I'll burn them on here with y'all. Maybe we can collectively decide what these will say, right? I think that actually would be a very fun, cute idea. I also was going to do something with my liquid spell jar, because I've been working on it with y'all over the past few months, and then I put it down and stopped. And I was actually going to, I know, right? It's going to be cute. And I was going to, like, show you and tell you about it and explain it and, like, pour it for y'all to see and let it sit before I dumped it. But I can't get the jar open myself. I'm going to need help opening the jar. So I don't think that's going to happen, or it wasn't meant to happen. I might try to open the jar again, but I tend to keep my magic very fucking private. Oh my god. Oh, I did get it. Okay, so I tend to keep my magic really private, but something tells me that this is a good time. So I got this jar from White Witch, and it had homemade moonshine in it. And ever since then, I've been using it for various things, but mostly spells, right? Spell jarring. And I've had it for about 3 years now. So a couple years ago, I collected some things and yacht. And I was about to do a, ready, two, and 4 views. Right. So I'm not really going to go into every step, every detail, or really exactly say what I'm doing here, but I have been collecting things for this jar, and my intention, I think the pendulum is right here, right? I was gonna cut someone off. I had never really done that before. I'm very bad at closing doors because I will just leave them unlocked, so to speak. Once again, metaphorically. And I give people a lot of chances because I, too, would like chances, because I know that I am sometimes, it's like I have been, but still am sometimes just an awful person. Even 10 minutes ago when I was making jokes and had to call myself Rick Sanchez is not a cool moment, right? So as much as it's funny, it's like, nah, I can recognize that I'm not always a good person, right? And I'm not here to convince anyone that I am. We're never going to be righteous. We're going to try to strive for righteousness, but we can't be righteous because we are not, right? Sorry, right? Anyways, I made this because I was like, you know what? This shit is bothering me. It was like, no matter how much this wasn't about an ex. This wasn't about a crush. This wasn't about a relationship. It wasn't about, I don't even know what the fuck it was. It felt like a cult, okay? And I felt like I had to cut ties with this fucking cult leader, right? And so I fucking made a spell jar full of my blood, and I tied up this rope, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to bless this jar. And I'm going to use this water from this beautiful place that I'll never be at again. And I was stopped. Some Christian was like, yo, you cannot do your magic. And I said, fine. Let me rethink this, right? So I let it sit for months and months and months while I decided what the fuck, because I had gone and taken breaks and took space and said my goodbyes, paid my dues, cut people off, went to therapy, all that stuff. And I still could not get the fuck away from this shit, right? So I was ready to cut it. And I've never done that before. I know cord cutting rituals are not necessarily unusual, but I've never spent my time in magic doing that shit. I never felt it was necessary because most people know when to fuck off, right? And maybe, maybe I don't. And yet, why did I even have to get to this point when I was far from paying attention? I take one look and I see what it is, and now you want to sit here and say what I did. So, because I got blocked from doing this spell, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not meant to cut this cord. Like I said, I never cut a cord. Thought, okay, maybe it's something else. Let it sit for months. Came back in the spring. Thought, holy shit, was I missing some things? Holy shit, that's coincidentally same page. Holy shit, maybe that's why this was saved, right? I was so confused. And maybe lied to, and maybe played thoroughly through and through, but I suppose I had fun and learned a lot, and that's all I can do, because now I've got this pendulum, right? And I don't think I want to cut it anymore, but mostly cleanse the cord. So because I had intended that all of this be some kind of cord cutting ceremony where I was willing to put my fucking blood into it, leave me the fuck alone shit, had a change of heart, just tried to mend this, tried to reverse the hatred that I poured into it, the fucking disdain, right? Naturally, it wasn't to add love, but just to balance and neutralize. Where I was like, yo, maybe I'm seeing things wrong. Let me try this again. Let me be better. Let me be less negative. So I made it a pendulum. And I reversed all that energy. I said, you know what? Forget that negative shit. Forget wanting to cut anything. I just hope for the best. Send back anything that was sent my way, and hope I see things clearly, and retain my freedom along the way. Like that was it. And that's great. For sure. Appreciate you. That's great. But I think when people see me operate, they assume that I'm doing something nefarious, intentional, or personal in some way, and none of it necessarily is. Just because I had an intention for a cord to cut with someone specific doesn't mean that that's everything that went into this. And necessarily just because I said, you know what, I don't like that energy on me. Let's continue to avoid hexes, continue to avoid curses, continue to avoid cutting. Because that's what the fuck kind of person I am. Is like, yeah, let me just clear out the energy and send back some blessings and block anything that's negative coming towards me. Okay, that's it. There's nothing real, whatever. So over the next months, this was back in the spring that I started to do this little, all right, I should be less angry. So over the months, I did random spells and things, swapped so many liquids out of this jar, I guess. And then I think Sagittarius season is kind of around the time I stopped. I thought, I think I made this was moon water that we kind of made together with a stick of herbs that was in a potion that I'd done. It was the last one I did in Sag season. And of course, I know it's you and you are. So Sag season, I think, was the last time I made myself a little potion. It may have been Cap season, but I think it was Sag season. And that one was like, this is my fuck it all. I'm gonna sit back and let people do what they do instead of trying to influence anything, even though all the intentions I put into all my magic, all my potions, all my spell work is abundance for one and abundance for all. I include so much and so many beings or people in, because it's whoever, kind of, for anyone, for all to have our highest alignment, blah, blah, blah. So I just sat back and let things unfold without my hand in anything since about, say, season. Took that last quarter off, if you will. But now that it's Pisces season, I wanted to spruce the place up a bit, freshen things up. Went through my spell jar, made a little money pouch. Now I'm about to pour this out, let it sit and brew for the next probably 24 hours before I give it to the earth. And say thank you for this decade. Thank you for this experience, this time, this knowledge. I am going to gracefully pour back into you and hope that my garden blooms in a way that is so beautiful, right? So cheers, y'all, because I think that's, yeah, even though no one I made this with is here now, some have been since banned from the channel, others I've just not really seen, and some simply not tuned in currently. This was, oh, it smells good. It smells like, it kind of smells like going for a swim, but then you're sitting in a garden. So it's not like it smells like a lake. It kind of smells still very flowery, but you definitely have like the water smell. When it smells good, that's a good sign. Because once again, I just wanted the best for everyone. All the time. The whole time. And nothing but that time. And I think everybody got it. And that's why now, I've been wondering, I've been curious, I've been thinking, I've been sort of starting to see that perhaps now it's my time. Don't you think? And that's sort of, what I'm hoping to see bloom in this next season of spring, Aries season, all of this, So that's a bit of my magic. I mean, everybody's so goddamn curious, think I sacrifice animals and fucking use witchery and my black magic involves cutting my wrists or something. I don't know who the fuck thinks I'm some kind of really crazy bitch. I'm playing with water. Okay, playing with herbs. I'm still a kitchen witch by nature. I'm still an earth sign and an Italian, right? Like, come on. Who the fuck thinks I'm sacrificing animal? Like, what the fuck is fine. They can think what they want, but it's just, it's, when you're like me, you just don't need that much. Like, once again, the amount that I bleed every month, what the fuck would anybody ask me to cut someone's throat for, really? The fuck, no God has ever come to me and been like, sacrifice more. They're like, you've sacrificed so much, what is it that you want? We owe you one. Not that the gods come and tell me that, but like, I've had some pretty uncanny experiences of, yo, hello, what's up? Like, you don't even realize how much you've done, do you? I'm like, no, I do not. And they're like, so what would you do in this scenario? And I'm like, I guess this. And they're like, oh my God, that feather, But that doesn't make me a good person every waking moment of every single day either. It's something that is constantly a work in progress. Yeah. And I have so much of that every fucking month. That's why they say, yo, do you realize how much you put down on some of this shit? Like, you invested in it whether you realize it or not. And I'm like, oh, fuck. You're not wrong. All right, so now what? That's the fun of it, I suppose. So, that's like as much of the magic that I've shared with y'all. And I guess the admission that the only blood I've ever used in magic has been my own menses. So I hope that everyone's super fucking comfortable, not only with me, but everything they've done to try to combat my cute little spell jars. Because again, when you are this in tune or in touch or intuitive or practicing or dedicated or studied as long as I have, then you very much only need little tools to kind of help you and guide things more than being the thing, if that makes sense. Not to mention, it's everything in my life becomes an amulet, an altar, a representation, an intention, an action, a love, you know. I have really good control over my Nen. So I fail to need like all that effort and all that work that you pay people to do myself, nor would anybody need would get that much from me to do it for them, if that makes sense. Yeah, you can still pay me to do magic, but it's gonna look different than what you're expecting probably. Um so I guess the part of the reason I'm being a little more open about it, perhaps this year, this coming year, is to let people know that I can help them with these things and I can show them these things and how to do these things. But it's something really that you'd have to pay me for a lot more than you do on Twitch, right? But I want to just touch up on it. I'm pretty good at what I do. And I've helped a lot of people. It's weird. It's like, just, I don't even know why I'm talking about this right now, in a sense. But there are certain messages where if my mind is set to say something, I kind of allow myself to do it because I realize that when I'm streaming and I'm in the sea and the intention is tarot, then everything is meant to be heard by certain ears or said at certain times or be certain words to carry whatever lesson or message needs to be in that moment. Good. Yeah, that is exactly it. That's exactly what I mean. And I think that's why I wish people weren't so turned off when I say I don't do personal readings, because like, do you not feel like you're having a personal experience anyway, especially because you are the only person that's really talking to me? Truly, the mark of the healer is being able to heal themselves, I do believe. And that doesn't mean we don't get help along the way, but that you truly can sit through your own dark night of the soul, no guide, no presence, no gods, no masters, no dogs, no children type shit. If you have kids, you have kids, but whatever. If you have a dog, you have a dog. I'm not saying get rid of it. The healer heals themselves. That is the mark of the true healer. In my opinion, I guess. Or it's just something I absorbed or something I've learned. I'm ready to, okay, so half of manifestation I do think is like sort of keeping to yourself, right? And making your own reality. But I also am, let me just say, I'm at a crossroads. I'm very vulnerable about these things. And let me tell you what goes on in my life or what I think, so that once we get to the readings, once again, my energy and my storyline doesn't clog up the lines, right? This is why I do take the time to stay in the chat mode and be kind of like vulnerable. And yeah, the last 3 years have been pretty rough for me too, because I got in a fucking massive accident. It was pretty much a spiritually led accident. It was a spiritual incident that left me injured. And it's taken like the last 3 years to really accept why the fuck that happened in the first place, what it meant for me now, and how long the recovery truly was. And like, I'm kind of realizing that, you know, I'm probably just, it's not even probably anymore. It's like I have to accept the loss that comes with that and accept that if I wasn't ready then it will never happen. And that was the lesson of this past year. And it is to close out this chapter of something that's lasted for the past 10. You know, like it's been a decade of this search and destroy that I never even wanted to really be a part of. I was just, you know, looking for a place to feel a sense of belonging on my path and a spiritual journey and seeking knowledge, wisdom, and wonder, but also dealing with Tyler Durden popping up, popping out, popping off, right? And it's like, whoa, fuck. Now it's destroy. Now it's seek and destroy. Like, there was never any intent to destroy. It was just seeking that turned into that because of the truly unruly, untamable, unattainable world. I think I just quoted my own poetry. That's okay. So did somebody else, right? So, there's a lot to be said of it. And now I'm like, all right, so all this stuff about me was true all this time? So many of these things were actually happening? Or, oh my gosh, new perspective, different age, soul, mind, getting stronger, wiser, and kinder even, right? Somehow more beautiful, youthful than ever. But now I'm trying to walk in. I think I've been walking in my truth, right? I have dedicated my life to what I do. I've gotten to the point where you can no longer dissociate me from what I do because I've made it my full-time everything and never chose to hide my face and any of it, right? So there has always been a walking in my truth, and now I am working the nerve to speak my truth, because part of what makes, I don't know, it's like, it's not supposed to be a dig at pockets. I'm doing what I do because I'm good at it and I like it, but in order to just live, we do have to have money. It's not necessarily selling out if they're forcing you to pay bills, right? And once again, the deeper I get into this, the less I can get out of it because I'm, hello, extreme, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an extremist, but I do think I'm quite radical, right? So I'm 10 toes down, I'm all in, balls deep, baby. But part of what garners their own success is the way they talk about themselves, and it is the way they present themselves or market themselves, and yada yada yada. And while I have an understanding of how to do that, and I even am pretty decent at doing it, there's a huge choice just to not participate in it, and that's like a bad habit. That's me not speaking my truth to an extent, and that's how I'm fooling myself into playing certain games and creating my own propaganda, because that's all marketing is. It's sort of a ridiculous notion. I'm very anti-corporatism. I'm very much not necessarily go against the grain, but go with the flow, which happens to be often against the grain, because what the fuck are you doing trying to grow crops in the middle of the fucking river, you know? Well, yeah, Twitch is very personal, right? That's like, this whole experience is very personal, because, like, how much have you gotten to know me in the past 45 minutes, and how much do I get to know you through the cards and the readings and what people confirm or tell me, right? Or even, you know, kind of getting a sense for who's watching sometimes. So, I'm also trying to move more of my content to my website and be more exclusively my own. I know it's a lot put in Wix and it's tied to Google, but at the same time, some of these platforms, man, they're starting to kind of go under. People are worried about the banks. I'm like, yo, that's like not the least of our worries, but damn. It's kind of like, you know, one of the worries. So, right, and I started everywhere, and what I realized is I don't really like any of these places that much, except for Twitch. I'll probably continue to stream on Twitch, but I'm going to be pulling my content from little places and putting it all on my website, kind of doubling down on myself once again, because I'm already all in. But yeah, if you're not constantly reminding people, I already have a website. I have already made my investments. I've already been, like I said, I've been walking my path, but now I'm actually talking about it. I just also have a lot of content on other platforms, and I'm going to be moving more of my content onto this website, which is already full of my content, such as an exclusive mini web series that I started a couple of years ago that I really want to get back into, but like, The spark has not been there. Winter is killing me. I can't even tell if I'm sick anymore. Or if it's just allergies, because, thank you. Because of the weather and everything. But I am so ready for spring, and I'm so ready to get back into things. So tonight, we haven't even got to the cards. You haven't missed a thing if you're just tuning in. Once the box is turquoise, you know we got cards on the table. We're going to do a look at this past year, okay? And then tomorrow's stream, we're going to go into next year. We're going to look forward, but tonight we're going to look back because the lessons we learned in this past year applied to what we went through this past 10 year, just one decade, this past decade. And we are going to set the precedent for the next 10 years, for the upcoming decade, starting this week when Aries season begins and the 2023 cycle starts, which will end in 2033. Okay. Nice. Hey. We're going to do a burn for Aries in a couple days. I'm hoping Tuesday. I don't know for sure. I think Tuesday. I also got to look at the weather. But yeah, if I'm not here tomorrow, it's because I'm doing solstice shit with the coven. But I think I'll be on here tomorrow to do the look ahead. If I'm not, I'll make up for it another day this week. It's about to be 111. So, anyways, yeah, we're just chit-chatting right now. We'll get to some tarot, but that's the plan tonight, is I'm going to read this week's not predictions, but what's the word? Like this week's premonitions, this week's whatever. The cards I collected all week long. We'll do a present day this week reading, but then we're going to do a look back at this 2022 zodiac cycle and how it was resonant or reflected the past 10 years of our lives. Because we are about to walk into a new decade with a new cycle, new karmics, new characters, new settings, new places, new things. And it's going to be, I think, a great change. I think many people will embrace that change and see many positive effects happen kind of soon into Aries season. The new year is going to feel really good. Everybody's going to be having more will to live. Sorry, winter's been so rough, everybody. It's almost like guides are speaking. Sorry, winter's been so rough. The weather's been nuts. It's like depressing. It was meant to slow us down so we wouldn't focus on things so much. And then once the weather feels better, so will we, and everything kind of feels like a rush in. And then the dust settles into a new lifetime ahead kind of energy. It's cool. So, who's ready for this evening? What deck should we use to do the past year? Probably the Thoth deck, right? I was thinking the initiation cards, but I feel like those would be better tomorrow. We used the hell out of the pink deck. That is not even in question tonight. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just not an option. Hey, I feel like it's been a minute. You were like really chatty and then you disappeared. No, not really chatty. Okay. Maybe this time you will be. Do you like being called daddy? Is that why? Anyways, I'm about to get into some tarot. Okay. Probably the Thoth deck. This year in review. We're doing the zodiac cycle wrap up for 2022 tonight because it's the last day of Pisces season, finally. I think we're all sick of feeling emotional turmoil, stagnation, depression, and the, will to live being solely to get drunk. I've been alcohol free since February 15th, 16th, but I definitely almost broke. Yeah. I'm like so sick of this gothic clowncore Pisces energy. We get it. You're sad. You made yourself sad. You're playing the victim. Shut the hell up. Let's go. Let's get to Aries season. Okay, it's the end of the year. Everybody's sad. Oh, boo-hoo, the blues. It's winter, and oh, it's all over. Nostalgia. Okay, Pisces, go back to bed. Go back to bed. Just go to sleep. Wake up feeling renewed like the rest of us if you can't handle the transition, right? No, there's a few Pisces on the channel that we absolutely love and adore, and some of them will own up to who they are, and there's Pisces who are just not it at the same time. It's like a different, everybody's got a different vibe, right? It's not like good or bad, but unevolved Pisces, oh yeah, they are a mess. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, that Mars in Pisces keeps me crying. So, I think what we'll do now is take a little minute, a break. Just talk for like 50 minutes straight. So, yeah, I could use a fucking minute before we get into tarot. But, I've just realized that my title, been a long time, just made me think of Boston. Is it Boston? It's been such a long time. Think I should be going, yeah. Time don't wait for me. It keeps on going. Yeah, I do too. But that's not what that was. This is actually Lady Gaga. It's been a long time since you came around. Been a long time, but I'm back in town. This time I'm not leaving without you. That's what I was listening to right before, like as I was starting the stream. I don't think I got to finish it because I was like, we need to go. We're running so late tonight. Let's go. I love that song. It's easily my favorite Lady Gaga song and what sold me on Lady Gaga. The whole album, Born This Way, one of my favorite albums of all time. Do I know much more by Lady Gaga? No. To be honest, I don't. I've never listened to any of her other albums. I don't think I want to. I don't want to spoil it for myself. I don't like Poker Face. I don't like Alejandro. I don't like care. But Born This Way, a masterpiece. And her looks, her live performance, her piano talent, like she's amazing. I love her. But that album. Aries, see, I'm ready for Aries energy. Lady Gaga's an Aries. Great example of Aries being like absolutely unreal, like hot, talented, everything. That's what I'm saying, dude. I wish that song was out when I was in high school, and maybe I would have been out in high school. I kind of was out, and people outed me in high school for like whatever, but I did out myself a little bit too. I was always one of those kids who was like, so what if I am gay? And I attracted a lot of lesbians. So either way, I do wish that song was out when I was in high school. It makes me cry sometimes. Just thinking about it can trigger tears. Like, I love that song. But that whole album, dude, Judas, like, that's so on brand for my Catholic ass. That album is so good. But You and I think, is my favorite song. It's so hard to sing, too, where it's like, girl, flex on us. Oh my God, flex. That's just, like, so real. She's amazing. You're amazing. And I love us all so much. Yeah. Oh, man. So let's take 3 minutes. Let's take 3 minutes. Old Halloween candy. Go to the bathroom, get yourself water, grab a snack, maybe get some paper, pen, pencil, whatever. Sometimes it's nice. Some people like taking notes or are inspired to journal. We can use the pendulum if y'all want to or whatever. And that you kind of need your pen and paper for that, unless you can really keep track in your mind or whatever. Other than that, yeah, we'll reconvene in about 3 minutes. I have water. Probably gonna move my spell jar and stuff. Roll up if y'all 420 in is yes. I smoke weed. So, this is not a nice hand. I was doing like a okay chef's kiss, but if this is questionable hand signals, didn't like it. Yeah. So pack that shit, roll that shit, eat that shit, do what you gotta do. We'll come back. We'll blaze up and we'll do some tarot and get into the vibes in the rooms. Yeah, same kind of. I just like I couldn't do anything today, and I feel so much more relaxed about it being stoned. Um, Not to mention like the insane sensitivity is like curbed so much. I love edibles. If I had more edibles all the time, access to edibles, or like could make my own edibles just whenever, I would be eating edibles. Dude, my oil phase, like I just was fucking medicating all my food, making like pepper relish and shit with like so good. Oh, dude, it was so good. So anyway, I made these like little peanut butter. They were like Reese's Puff cereal with like it must have been marshmallow fluff and then coconut oil or avocado oil, THC avocado oil, dipped, rolled in chocolate, sprinkled with sea salt. They were divine, but half of one of those bitches would get you fucked up. I was selling halves for $5, and people were like, "You sure?" And I'm like, "I'm helping you out." And they're like, "I'll take a whole one." I'm like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Dude, just get half, get half." It was good fucking butter. I didn't make the butter. It wasn't butter, it was avocado oil. It was amazing. So anyways, mwah, love you all. Let's, coconut cookie. That's amazing. I want a coconut cookie. That sounds so good. Yeah, I'm gonna hunt for some snacks while I'm out there before I get too into the tarot. Probably get a little bubbly. Alright, so like, do what you gotta do, light your incense, get your water, etc., etc. Reconvene in a few. All right, y'all. I'm back. We're in tarot mode. So, another thing that I forgot about was this. We're gonna do these little. We're gonna do a Tentacola. What a fucking cool name. I love that. Big fan of the octopus and the squids. I forgot that we're gonna do this little cigarette paper ritual. Yeah. I have this collage. Ready? So I've got this nice pen. Maybe I'll do some channeled messages. I don't know. I was filling up this notebook fast. Got past the halfway point and then stopped using it because I was like, whoa, maybe I'm too much. And it's like, probably not, but let it be natural, you know? I also grabbed a LaCroix. Feel free to drink with me. Nice. I love that. That's how we all know that we're meant to be here at this time together, right? Like that's truly Tentacola, isn't it? I love that for us. I do drink, but gave it up for Lent, gave it up for Pisces season, because it's particularly hard to not drink during Pisces season, a time in which you want to drink more than ever. Pisces energy is just wanting to drink more than anything most of the time ever. For like every Pisces I've ever met, basically. To the sober ones, my regards. Either way, cracking a cold one with the boys here. All genders welcome. Any genders welcome. And of course, no gender is welcome. Like if you don't have a gender, you're still welcome. Cheers. Yep. And I knew I was going to get like that because, like, I slipped into those habits during Sag season. So any of the mutable signs, you know it's about to be like that. Gemini season, like the beginning of summer. Well, it's the end of spring, but pretty much when summer starts. Virgo season, when summer ends. You know, you're like, last banger, you know, outside all summer long. Endless summer. And then Sag season, midwinter binger, if you will. And then Pisces season, end of the year, madness, chaos, you know. So the mutables are really the addictive personality types in their own waking lives. And so you can expect that kind of similar energy when it is a mutable season, you know. So, yeah, I gave up alcohol for Pisces season because I was like, man, I'm going to want to drink too much. I'm going to get drunk about everything. I'm going to be feeling all my feelings. I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be fucking seeing shit clearly, you know, because when there's something in the water, I'm going to see it. I scry, right? And I go with the flow. I'm in the river. So Pisces season, it's clear to me, clearly, what's meant for me will be, and what isn't shall leave. That's everything. So, like, let it flood. Let it saturate, let it soak, let it float away. Who fucking gives a fuck? And let something float up, let something float by. Like, it's okay, right? It's okay. But yeah, I knew to give up alcohol for Pisces season. And it did start about a month ago. So now what I want to do first before we get into the tarot is the cigarette thing. So these were herbal lavender cigarettes. Great concept. I cannot smoke lavender. It gives me headaches. Try to mix it with some of my weeds, still give me a headache. So I just would I would use these for my potions and my rituals and just kind of like speak the intentions while I was rolling them out. And then depending on what it was, I would either burn it then or, like, you know, I've done the writing and burning before, just not on stream. And there was a time where I was using these and I collected them and just left them for something. You just put them in my, that's what I'm saying. I had a catch-all spell jar. So when I cleared it out, I had 4 of these in there. Even though I have burned the others from that pack of cigarettes. So I'm like, okay, cool. This will be the end of the year thing, but I figured I'd tune y'all in on it What do we want to burn away and leave behind in this last zodiac cycle for our last night of Pisces season? And reversely, what do we want to ingrain for the upcoming zodiac cycle as Aries season begins? I was trying to think of the opposite of burn down that you would still use heat and fire for, right? Like what we're kind of like soldering or, into the new cycle. So we'll clarify for each, but that's kind of what I want to do right now. If we want to like collectively come up with some concepts, I think that'd be really nice. What have you been struggling with lately, and what, like, even if we just pick one side, we can always do the opposite, right, for the other. So what do you think? I mean, even from what we were talking about, like struggling with drinking, struggling with feelings, or feeling sad and feeling a little bit. I feel like a lot of us are getting really cagey. Winter's kind of getting under our skin. So like, what are we trying to leave to Pisces season? Forget in this. In what lesson did we learn? Yeah. I think we should leave behind hopelessness, because I can deal with a little depression here and there, but I can't deal with hopelessness. I'm a very hopeful person, and I bring a lot of hope into people's life, and there's a lot of hopefulness in what I do, whether it's the necromancy or just the regular readings, and it's very dismal to be hopeless, especially when no one else really has the kind of hopefulness that I do to begin with, and so if I lose it, it's gone. And that ties, I think, very much into depression, because sometimes what makes us depressed, going out on a limb here, sometimes what makes us depressed is that existentialism of I can't change anything, I can't help anything, I'm depressed, this is hopeless situation, we're in dire straits as a nation, as a world, a country, a person. Doesn't matter. It ain't even about me anymore. What the fuck we gonna do, I think you missed the conversation about my spell jar, but that's what I was saying too, is like I've always put all my intentions for the greater good and the extended community and not just myself. And the healer has to heal themselves before they can heal anyone else. So you know that we did damn put in the motherfucking work into this shit too. 111. I've honestly tried to clear this so I can have a fresh one out on the altar while I do this with us. So, I think I have some incense burning. Maybe it went out. Oh, I guess it went out. So, I'll probably want to do that too. Just getting us all in the mood. So, part of speaking my truth. Once again, I've been walking my path, walking in my truth, but I think things and I see things and I'm nudged or shown signs. Living or dead, people have always told me certain things that do align with who I am and what I love and kind of where my life's been headed, but it's been very hard for me to kind of admit these things out loud or say them out loud, and it's almost like the more time goes on, the more it feels like people just copy me, steal my content, lurk just so they can fucking, whatever, be a fan without being caught up, right? And it just I get more and more disgruntled in a sense, more and more hopeless, blah, blah, blah. But the other day, hear me out. I'm not trying to, listen, again, I'm not trying to be conceited. I'm not trying to Rick Sanchez. I'm being genuine. I'm being honest about how it's very hard to stay positive for me. Thank you. That's totally okay. Sometimes I know when you do, because sometimes I specifically say, thanks to my lurkers and the people who fell asleep lurking. So there are nights where I know when you're there, and sometimes I probably miss it, but that is so funny you say that, because some nights I specifically shout out to the sleepers and lurkers. That's so hilarious. It gets to the odd hours where there will be 5 people, and then I'm talking to one person and they make a joke about the lurkers, and I'm like, I think some of my friends just fall asleep to me talking sometimes, so I think some of them were here and now they're not conscious anymore. And so that's so funny you say that, because it's true. But yeah, exactly. So it's like not even just calling back power, but recognizing the power. So the other day, I really wanted to listen to something like Alan Watts, but god damn, the dude died 50 fucking years ago. I need to get over it. I need to listen to something else, someone else. I mean, I don't even know how to get around that one. I love him and I probably still would listen to him, but I feel like I need to move on, right? Like I feel like I need different content because at the end of the day, it's going to be the same shit over and over again. He's dead. And then I was like, okay, let me try Rob Doss. Cannot stand his voice. No offense. He was cool to talk to, like necromancy wise. I like philosophy, yeah. I consider myself a philosopher. I'm not much into reading these days, but I'm trying to get back into reading. I have the Paths of Meditation. I've been thinking about reading books on stream just to get me to read, because sometimes reading out loud is easier for me these days post head injury. Even though growing up I was always an avid reader. So Ram Dass, can't stand his voice. Plus, when I channeled him, he was like calling himself a fake and thought I was really awesome and knew so much more than him, and that he attributed most of his success to drugs and people just assuming he was like way smarter than he was. And the fact that he can admit that makes me love him, and also the fact that he admitted that as posthumously communed to me personally is very questionable. I get that you don't have to change your opinion on him or believe that he actually said that, because I put it in a stream. So if you want to catch one of the many streams that I did do with him, I did celebrate his birthday last year, Instagram Live on my Illy Millie account. If you want to watch that, his birthday is April 6th. Speaking of Aries season, that's coming up too. So he's very cool to talk to, but I don't like his voice. So I was like, damn, who else is there who kind of represents like psychedelic spirituality, philosophy, speakers of that kind of era? Hey, or not era, but movement of that movement. Besides Alan Watts or Ram Dass, or not necessarily Timothy Leary, because that dude was a loon, or like Terrence McKenna, but he's so drug based that it's like, who else is there that I could listen to liking Alan Watts? But then it dawned on me, right, being very much akin to or aligned with people like Ken Kesey and Dr. Hunter S. Thompson for always, because I'm a writer by nature and a fucking deviant by night, that I recognized there were not many like women or female figures in that way that like compare. We kind of are seeing like Teal Swan take over, and it sounds like that bitch is kind of evil. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. I don't want to know what's going on there. That's like not really the same. It's not really like, it's like a different vibe than them. So there's not really anyone from their era, from this era. I feel like there's no femme voice from that, for that movement in the same gravity of any of the people I just listed. And so I'm not saying that I am that bitch, but I'm saying that I wouldn't mind stepping up to the plate, because who the fuck else ever did that? Ladies, the only person I could really even think of would be Patti Smith, but she was mostly a musician and not necessarily a spiritual leader, but was very politically responsive and very like open-minded and outspoken, right? She's like the only one I could think of that would even come close. So can you help me out? Can you help figure that out? Who do I listen to when I want to hear more Alan Watts, but he's been dead for so long that it's pointless? Anyway, what are we giving up? What are we calling in? We are giving up hopelessness because it leads to depression. And depression leads to inaction. I'm going to write that. Okay, this pen might not be good for this, but I have more pens. I need that Sharpie Pro. I did say deviant by night. What is a deviant philosopher? Am I a deviant philosopher? Because I feel like that would make sense. Damn it. My Sharpie pen's not all over here. I thought I left one in here, but it's in my bag of markers. Nope, I do have one. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay. Yeah, this works. We leave behind hopelessness. Because it leads to depression. And that leads to inaction. All right, so what's the opposite of that we are calling in? Yeah, it would probably be 2. So for Aries season, reversely, we are calling in hopefulness, I guess. We are calling in helpfulness for it breeds happiness, which breeds abundance. Okay. Next, what else do we need to let go of and leave in Pisces season? Romantically speaking, we did pink deck love readings for the past like 3 nights or something. Like, I don't know, the past 3 streams I did, I think we used the pink deck every night for some reason or another. And I think something that stood out is that we kept seeing the 2 of Wands and the 3 of Wands or something like that, where it's just like these dudes looking back, looking in the past, you know. So I think that it's to be said to just like, you know, leave regret, to like to let go of what didn't work out, and to let go, to stop being held back, basically, and to call in action, call in movement, call in passion, and what calls, right? So let's do that for this next one, and then we have 2 more, so start throwing it out there. What are you letting go of? What are you calling in? I release what escapes me. For if it leaves, it does not want to be, therefore not for me. Okay. I call in what calls me. I call back the calling. I make my calls clearly. Yeah, that's nice. I like that one. Ooh, no, I think that's good. We can do that. That's different. It's a good one. We still have 2 more. What the fuck else? So we're gonna say, sorry, the allergies. I promise I do not use drugs on my nose. I'm retired from that. Freaks me out at this point because like you can do so much damage. I'm vain, man. I would never. So we are going to let go of fear that binds you. For what scares you is meant to open you up in new ways. So then we call in courage and bravery. So I bring, this one is fucked up, okay? I'm not gonna be able to write as much. I bring courage and bravery in with spring. Okay. And, okay, last one. Bad habits. Time to quit. Quit bad habits. I am removing the addictive forces in my life that keep control over me in any way. And reversely, I introduce new, healthy, better habits and consumptions than ever before, 'cause I'm grateful for life. All right, we got all 4. So, I don't know if this Caligula will tell me when he's back, but I want to burn these, right? So, I don't know if we should wait, or how long to wait, or what, be right back for the news. Either way, love it. Gonna take a moment. 33333 on my pre-roll timer, so it's meant to be. I have some Jesus incense. Where did I put them? So I'd love to burn one right now. I took them out of my abundance jar, and I don't think I put them back in there, but where did I put them? I don't know. But I will burn a Jesus incense. Seems appropriate, because he was probably a Pisces Aries combo, or both, or resurrected as one or the other, something like that going on there. So we do ask that we are protected and guided, not only by this entity of Jesus, but also just by God and the universe and everything. We do call the protection that we need as we move forward with everything, whether that's of the cosmos or something more specific for each of us individually. Here we are, ready to give up our old habits and bad ways to make room for new and better things. We made it to the end of the year. It's going to be a great new cycle. This was quite the test these past 10 years. We did our best. Now it's time to walk those paths, see those lights, be who we're meant to be, do what we're meant to do, have what we're meant to have, so forth and so as it is, and it shall be. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. It's like one of the most ceremonious things I've done on here, but it was worth it, and you're all worth it, and I love you all so much. So I hope you appreciate that kind of intimacy that comes with magic. That being said, I think I'm gonna let that one sink in. Going to take a moment, I'm gonna roll some ads. I know it was only 30 minutes, not an hour, but when I come back, we'll get into the tarot, so that'll be fun. But I just want a second, and we'll just let that sink in. So put this shit on mute and let me collect my pennies. Love you. Wow. So as soon as I come back, everyone's gone. Except for my one true lone lurker. Thank you so much. Sorry. I started eating. I was eating a little bit. And you're lucky that I want some after the reading, or I would have just kept eating. Not giving a shit. So, got the Thoth deck out, and I got some cards on the table, so I don't know which one. I feel like I should just start with the cards on the table to get them out of the way. And then do the Thoth reading. Holy shit, this is like half the deck of these. Maybe that's why I said we were going to do a Cosmic Deck of Initiation. Because there's like a whole freaking stack of them right here. Alright, I guess that'll be this other part of the reading. So, this week in Love and Karma. That's what we're looking at right now. Alright. This week in Love and Karma. So, for the pink oracle, pink deck is used for romantic relationships. Oh, good. Welcome back. Everybody left all at once as I came back for tarot. I was like, damn, sorry, y'all. Yeah, so 8 of Cups, walking away from whatever doesn't serve you anymore. That's what we're doing this week. Something is going to show up face down, so you're not expecting it. So something's going to show up to kind of try to deter you from walking away. Queen of Wands. So it could be a fire sign woman. It could be someone who's just very passionate for you. It could be, I feel like an old flame. Like it could be an old flame to kind of test you, to see how committed you are from walking away. Or, of course, you could be walking towards a fire sign that you aren't expecting. And then 2 of Discs, change. You really do implement that change. And you start to see it this week. Like, there's something, because it's the end of the year. Today's the last day of Pisces season. Aries season's coming in fresh. There is something about it that, yeah, you made these changes quickly. There will be like a pop-up quiz this week, but it's just to make sure that you are completely out of the cycle that has ended these past 10 years and are actually ready for your next lesson that will be over the course of the next 10 years. So when it comes to the demon deck, it's very laborious things and like karmic relationships. So think like tumultuous romantic relationships in some way, shape, or form, or like begrudging coworkers, or sometimes parent and child connections, etc. So karmics, or just like work and labor and money in general. So we've got 3 face down cards in reverse and 1 face down card in the upright. And so this is like, it's giving me this energy of like striking out, but something actually sticking. So let's kind of see what didn't work with these, and see, this is almost like why it didn't work, and then we'll see what did, in a sense that you don't know yet, if that makes sense. Kind of makes sense, but meh. If it's face down, it needs to come to surface, and it's what you don't know. If it's in reverse, it's the opposite of. So keep that in mind as we reveal these cards. It's Lamia. Lamia's first in reverse, so like the opposite, right? What you needed to do was beware of grief and loss, becoming so great that they begin to hurt others, bringing company to misery. What you failed to do was recognize that. So you being sad, maybe like as we discussed depression, you being sad definitely ruined your chances. We've got Gamori. Not that you shouldn't feel your feelings, but like trying to get sympathy at all times and blame everything on one thing, or like constantly bringing it up and talking about it when you're getting to know someone. Like those are all like that kind of stuff. Not just like being sad or having random days or being like, oh, this is how I handle my shit. It's like, you know, the pity party aspect, the victim mode. What you were supposed to do was focus on finding and gaining new love or inspiration, but again, stayed bogged down, stayed tied down to this grief, to this situation, to something that you hated or whatever. And then Fur. what you were meant to do was focus on enduring love and passion, beware of strong emotions becoming destructive, but instead, you did not focus on the enduring love that was present and rather just jumped to destroying something that was real. So that's why nothing's working out right now. Whether you realize it or not, that's what's happened. That's why things aren't working, and those are your karmic lessons. Now, what is in full effect is Kali, and you already know, King, that this is about respecting women. So obviously you need to work on your respect game if you're hearing this message. Focus on feminine strength. Beware of judging powerful women harshly. So maybe you had the wrong idea about me. Maybe you had the wrong opinion about me, but maybe I'm your boss, or I'm your mom, or I'm your ex, or I'm your girlfriend or something, instead of like me, literally. But yeah, feminine strength is not to be messed with, questioned, or challenged unless you are really up for the fight. And I don't think some of y'all were, all right? So that is the vibe this week, is maybe humbly and apologetically coming forward to the ladies or the femmes in your life. Could just be water signs or earth signs or whomsoever aligns with the femininity, right? And say, hey, I could use your help. Okay, I was wrong about some things. I am ready. Okay, just do your best, kings. Do your best. All right, so I'm going to read these. I guess I'll shuffle them. Some of them are face down. Some of them are face up. They were all over the place yesterday. I did this reading. So, again, this is for this week, and, of course, closing out the past decade. Maybe these should be last. I'm going to do these last. Something's telling me to do those last. Let's get to the Thoth deck first. Oof. I haven't used these in a while, but damn, they are ready. Yeah. See that? They're ready. Debauchery. Somebody's doing too much. Somebody's doing too much. You need to take a break, Sagittarius. Or there's just a Sagittarius you're dealing with. Time for a new creative cycle also. It's about to be blooming in here. Okay, so I feel like there's much to discuss because once again, we're kind of reflecting on the whole year. We're looking back at 2022 zodiac cycle from this time March of 2022 to this time now, the end of the zodiac cycle for the 2022 zodiac calendar. We are looking back at everything that's kind of happened and unfolded, relating it to how this has been a theme for the past 10 years of our lives, so that we can get some advice on how to move forward and call it a night, basically, right? So it might be a lot of cards, might be a pretty extensive reading because we're covering a lot of ground here. We are closing out Pisces season, we are closing out the zodiac cycle, and we are ready for something new. And it's funny how I've come such a long way as a tarot channel, as a reader, but really as my readings go. And I think back to how many different setups and how many different ways and how many different decks I've changed and acquired and cycled through myself in this past year or two. And it's been overall a beautiful journey, but there is some things that just need to end and some things that need to begin. That's why we have the Fool and the Death card right here as I say it. I think that's a good place for us to start. Actually, that's the starting point. This is just, I think, where I stop shuffling. Something's telling me to take another bong rip and a sweetest bubbly. Something's telling me to take another bong rip and a little swiggitest bubbly. Because there is something coming. There's something coming. It could be what if I got raided? That'd be so funny. No, it's judgment, the Eon. Somebody's judging me. Somebody's on here judging me. I don't know if it's like, okay, the Chariot. Maybe a Cancer energy. Or somebody who just thinks I don't know, that's weird, right? It could be somebody judging you if you're dealing with a Cancer or whatever, but let's just try to focus on what this truly is. And for me, in this deck, it's giving slow ride, take it easy, slow ride, take it easy. Who cares if they sit and make you stop and smell those roses, right? I love the Chariot, and I have associated that card with that song since I got this deck way back in the day and did not know very much about tarot. So that is on God what that is. Even if there are setbacks, even if there's blocks in the road, even if you can't get the fucking Chariot going, there's a reason you're on the course the way you are. Beautiful. Slow diver. I don't really know all the words to that song. Love in a second, sitting by a waterfall, and when the people come in, they hold their nose and kiss these walls, down on the walls. I don't know. Jane's Addiction, deep cuts. Okay, so at the core of this reading, we have the Two of Swords, which is peace. We have the Emperor, which is Aries. And we have the Three of Wands, which is virtue. And all this is to say, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, at the end of the decade, at the end of the lesson, at the end of the cycle, what you can honestly say is the reason you are at peace is because all this time you were aligned to your own moral compass and you stood by your own values. You stood by your worth. You stood by what's you, what makes you you, what actions are of you. You stayed true to yourself, basically. And it shows. And it's going to show even more come Aries season. You're going to be glad you fucking did. You're going to be glad you did. You're going to be glad you stuck beside you. You're going to be glad to see how it all plays out and how it all works for your highest good in so many degrees that you can't even fathom yet. And that sounds like bullshit. It's been sounding like bullshit. 444 on the pre-roll timer. But there is something coming. There's something in the air. Undoubtedly feeling it, but also bogged down by these emotions that come with Pisces season. But it's ending. It's clearing up. Today's the last day. Speak your mind. Speak your feelings. Spill your heart. Spill your guts. Share those emotions, tell your secrets, express your love, because this is the last moment. Mwah. You know, it's like the last moment before it's all over and the shoe drops and the curtain's pulled and everything kind of is what it is and unfolds the way it's meant to. But like, move with those emotions. The bottles will break if you bottle them up, right? So just let it flow and let it pour out. Ace of Cups and Queen of Swords. You don't like your situation, do something about it. If that means making cuts, trimming the fat, or going in, putting in the work, disrupting things, shaking things up. But Ace of Cups, new perspective, new fulfillments being unlocked, new mindsets becoming you, or maybe dealing with an air sign, especially like a femme air sign. Make new, make new, make do, make new. Okay. Picking up this Queen of Discs too, so added air energy or earth energy, and the mages. Don't be fooled by fake magic. Strength, nine of Wands. You can discern between the two. The Lovers and Swiftness, 8 of Wands. Could be Gemini energy. Do not be fooled by fake magic. You never have been. You never will be. But if you do, 9 of Swords, cruelty. It will be taken out on you. And 4 of Swords, truce. If you allow it, then you have to accept it. But 10 of Cups and 6 of Wands, victory. Satiety and victory. This whole path, this whole situation leads you to everything that you've ever wanted. Now that you've finally completed this emotional cycle and you finally recognize it for what it is, you're no longer fooled by fake magic, and that's why the Knight of Wands is coming in. The passionate one. The balancer to your feminine energy coming back. Eight of Discs, Prudence, just because you were you. Just because you are you. And that is what you inspire people to do. So what's being revealed, okay, it's not even like this isn't like past or present or future. I don't know if this is like what's been happening or what is happening. It's kind of a weird energy, but we're wrapping things up. Like we're moving into a new timeline or hey, I'm glad you are. It's just quite the beginning of the tarot session anyways. So whether this is really past, present, or future is up to you, I think, at this point. It's just wrapping up or concluding what's been happening this past year and once again this past decade. So just like go with the flow here. But what's being revealed or what you missed or what information you were missing and what made it make no sense is about to come to surface. And it is the Tower. Someone has been going through a Tower moment. I feel like you would know if it was yourself, right? Why would it be a hidden... Maybe you don't realize your life is falling apart, but I think you don't realize someone else's life is falling apart. So what you don't see is the Tower, is that everything is very obvious, everything is very painful, everything is falling apart, everything is kind of chaotic for whoever you might be dealing with. 8 of Cups, indolence, and 3 of Discs works. They're like, yeah, we can make it work, but right now I'm just a fucking drunk-ass motherfucker and can't deal with my emotions or whatever. The Hermit, Virgo energy. 9 of Discs, gain. Princess of Cups. Okay, so maybe Virgo, yeah. Princess of Cups could be like a new perspective coming on. Could also be... Prince of Cups energy is usually more child or pregnancy, but there's a lot to gain from this new perspective, especially if you've been withdrawn or going through Tower moments or dealing with a Virgo. Yeah, it could be something like that. So, I don't know, but... yeah, the Chariot, the badges, no getting fooled by fake magic. You gotta be stronger than your opponents, basically, which sucks to even have or realize that anyone would want something not right for you, but 5 of Swords, it is what it is. You'll never change that. Okay. There is a bag to be secured, but you will secure it by once again. Nice. That's so funny. Someone, were we discussing your Virgo? Or I feel like I was talking to someone else about them dealing with a Virgo, so that's really funny because it just seems to be a vibe around here, that's for sure. But we have Ace of Wands and Ace of Discs together, so I really like this because Ace of Discs just screams that the bag is secured and balancing that book and getting that bread, like baking the bread. And the Ace of Wands indicates like a major control over your emotions and like being able to handle things in a real way, being in touch, being in tune, but mostly being in control. So double aces, we love to see it. And honestly, with the Magus right here, it is 111. Even if we don't love the fake magic stuff, it is 111 right there. So got to be a good omen. Oh my god, and it's about to be 420 somewhere, so we should probably take that bond route, right? Hi. Nice. I think that's good. That's good. That's what these readings are about. It's like in the last minute, in the clutch, people do come through and they do want to show you or express you. And that's what the love readings have been about in the past few days, was like people looking back and realizing they really want something, they really miss someone. Clock just changed. It's 420 on 320, baby. And I worship the goddess Mary Jane, so I do honor her and revere her every given chance that I have, which does include 420 at least twice a day, every day. Okay. Sometimes more than that. One of it. She's a babe. She is sacred. She's everything. I put intentions into everything I do, from the weed that I smoke to the food that I eat, to the things I create or concoct or kind of just get my hands in. I am that bitch. All right, let's keep going. I'm seeing I'm kind of tempted. I'm kind of going this way, but I'm gonna come back this way, I think. Um, I see this Two of Wands, Dominion, and Knight of Discs. All right, so Two of Wands is sort of like, imagine like two emotions or feelings intersecting with one another. It can represent X's because it actually is an X, but it's also because it's dominion. You got to think like domestication, so it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic situations as much as it is domestic situations. So it could be like a living situation that it represents, or a relationship if you live with that person, right? So we see the King of Discs kind of bringing home financial support, I think. No, she was downright terrible in Umbrella Academy, I'm just gonna say. I'm sorry, she was so cool, and I love her. She's an Aries too, I think, and she's like a good time. She had the right look, and she could pull it off, but she was just not nailing that character in that first season of Umbrella Academy for me at all. Kind of hilarious. That's like all I think about her. I just rewatched it too, and I was like, yeah, no, she just is not popping. This cast is way too good for this. That was such a funny moment just now. I'm sorry. I was not trying to talk. I don't even mean to talk shit, and I'm talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, dude. No, I was talking about the weed. Okay, so we're seeing definite financial support at home. Okay, maybe if you are, especially if masculine earth sign. So I'm also seeing this art card. This is like, again, creation, but also it's Sagittarius, which means it's usually temperance, and temperance is all about taking breaks and being sober. So this is like we're stepping into this creative period, but also looking back at our work for the past 10 years and reanalyzing things and like and focusing on like the artistry, 1, 2, 3, and like what you've created or what you've done over the course of this time, and knowing that the universe never led you wrong, and you were laying down this groundwork for all these amazing things that have yet to be. And even though it's been a very trying time, 5 of Wands, strife, straight up, it's been a trying time. It's been dragging. It's been very middle. It's been very not that great, but not that bad. But sure, I mean, it's nothing, but it is fine, but it's whatever. And that's because it's going to lead you to nothing better than the power of love, right? 4 of Discs and 2 of Cups. Power in love. That's very beautiful. That's very, very beautiful. Yeah, so 6 of Cups, pleasure, the feminine, the yonic, pleasure, and yeah, just having the strength to keep going because you're almost at the finish line. And I personally am willing to let go of anything that clearly doesn't want me around. And that's where I'm at. Is like, I guess I wanted to have more love from things or from people, or, you know, as perceived, but I just simply stopped believing in so many things if they were not going to come directly to me. So this pile's on its side, right? And it's a good pile. This is something you want in the upright, that's for goddamn sure. But it ain't in the upright. So you got Queen of Cups, which is very maternal energy, water sign, compassion, the mother, etc. And then you also have the Empress here, right? So that's big Taurus energy, kind of like cohabiting the Empire. Emperor was the first card in the reading, and now we've got the Empress, so like definitely big counterpart. And the Priestess, which is the High Priestess, okay? So the all-knowing, the free-flowing, etc. So it's almost as if somebody's got options. So the other night we were talking about the feminines having a lot of options, but now it's looking like the masculines had options, okay? Over the past 10 years, they probably went through these options, maybe even cycled through these options, explored some of these options, maybe didn't choose some of these options, and now that's why it's on its side, because you don't necessarily even know if you do or don't have them, right? Ten of Discs, wealth, and Ten of Swords, ruin. 10, 10. We'd like to see angel numbers, but once again, this is on its side. So, like, you may not have the financial stability you want, but you also have to realize that at least the things around you aren't falling apart, but you are sort of holding yourself back, or maybe you didn't make the right choices or the right investments when it came to those things or those people. Then we have Prince of Cups on its side, maybe not sure if you're going to carry out like a pregnancy or some kind of energy like that, or not really sure what perspective you should have, if you should be stuck in your ways and keep thinking the way you've been thinking, or like switch it up and start fresh and see things differently. Because the Wheel of Fortune on its side is stagnant. You're not getting anywhere. You're not going to get away from this either. Can't have people hang in the balances and then wonder why you feel like you're suspended in air. Because that's where you're put when that's what you're doing. It's okay. It's a great show. It's one of my favorite time travel reference shows ever. Like, they do a great job. It's so fun and quirky and campy and cool. I love that show, but yeah, it's one of the best time travel things ever. Okay, so 5 of Discs at the bottom of the deck, worried about your money. Yeah, well, you should have settled shit out. Three of Discs works. You should have figured that out in the past, like, 10 months, let alone last 10 years, blah, blah, blah. 2 Discs change, because everything is about to change, whether you realize it or not. And 7 of Cups, you've been doing too much, whether it's drinking, anything excessive, but the cups scream alcohol to me. It could also be cheating because it's debauchery, but that's, y'all's business, I guess. So face down, we have 2 cards here. One of them is the Magician, but they're both face down. And then we have some face up cards, and then we close out with more face down cards. So these 2 face down cards are blocking us from... I feel like it's something not that great, but it's also angel numbers. So I think the message is supposed to be positive, even though they're not great cards. But it's almost like, okay, so 5 of Cups, disappointment, and the Magician. This is what's blocking you from, get this though, 6 of Swords, science. 7 of Discs, failure, 7 of Wands, valor, and 7 of Swords, futility. So, great mix of representation. We love angel number 777. I literally put 777 on my face on St. Patrick's Day, which was 317. And when I played the lottery last summer, the winning numbers that day were 7771, which is very bizarre, but there was, like, I played 3 sevens that day. Like, just the wrong order, wrong tickets. So it was pretty crazy. But 777 is great. Yeah. Yeah, basically all the numbers represent something else. We can just look up 777 right now because I don't really know. But I do think it's good fortune, and that's why 7 is considered a lucky number. And they use it in casinos and stuff because people do know about angel numbers and shit. They know what they're doing when they make stuff. Contentment, self, and quietness. Slow down and take time for yourself. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it's just, okay, in some cases, luck right here. Divine intervention, fullness, completeness, spiritual awakening, grace, push forward. So I think it could be that, but yeah. Winning. Whatevs. But yeah, so this is strange, right? Oh, maybe not strange. I didn't mean to pick those up because I meant to pick these up, but I just saw something beautiful. So we'll get there. So this some kind of disappointment and your own magic is blocking you from things working out because it was bound to fail, or like they are like there's some kind of bankruptcy or something, and they maybe are putting on a brave face, or like as much like is brave as you are to face it, there's no point in interfering. It's about to go down. Like, if you wanted a job you didn't get or something like that, it's like, that shit's about to be done and over with. Like, that ship's going down very quick. Because, yeah, your own magic was like, yo, you don't fuck with this, I promise. And then it's like, something changes, and it's like, ooh, yeah, glad I fucking dodged that bullet. 3 of discs works, so focus on making that money, maybe 3 incomes or whatever. Yeah. So what else comes in the next couple months probably? Here we see the Princess of Wands, so about to embark on an emotional journey this Aries season. I would be 100% on that. But what's being revealed here, 6 of Discs, success. So while things didn't work out the way you wanted them to, things do still work out. And the reason you had to dodge that bullet was to get to this shelter, this protection, this table, this 6 of Discs, success, balance. You don't need that broke shit. You need this stable shit, right? And that's because, oh my God, I just felt it in someone's eyes. Are you watching right now? Who is that? I can feel like there's a twin flame energy, right? I never say that about this card, but there was a feeling under my eye. It was weird. It was almost like you have wrinkles or something. Because it didn't feel like tears, but it felt like a wince or whatever. I don't know. This card is very powerful. So if it induced something in you, that's definitely some kind of really deep connection that you have, because the unicursal hexagram it's very similar to a pentagram, but it's a design by Aleister Crowley for this deck, or for something else, but used in this deck. I think it was already his design, but it's to represent the divine feminine, the divine masculine coming together in divine union. So you can think of it within yourself and balancing out, but that little connection or feeling, I feel like this is really about a connection that you have with someone, and you might be dealing with a twin flame. Literally, especially the 2 people who just got here, 4 and 5. There's a very strong, my ear went off when you walked in, so y'all might be dealing with twin flame connections. We did a couple cards, the mystery deck the other night. I think it was last night, or 2 nights ago, last stream. We did a little twin flame readings. It's not my favorite thing to do, and it sounds corny, but it's true. And the unicursal hexagram, very bold, very beautiful, but very much soulmates and divine unions. So, 3 of Swords, sorrow. I think you can handle a little heartbreak to know that you were planting seeds that were going to grow into greater things. Period. The sun is shining. Leo energy, but not the Leo card necessarily. So that's really good. The reason you had to go through all this bullshit was to have everything that you were about to get this year. And that's like really hard to hear right now because you don't see it. But trust me, you did secure that bag, and you do have things coming. And the universe wants everything to work out for you. And that's why this Knight of Discs is coming towards you, or you become it. Either someone's bringing you that bacon, or you're bringing home that bacon for yourself. You make yourself breakfast if you need to. But the bread is coming in, right? And so all this emotional turmoil was for your happiness. 9 of Cups. Abundance. 3 of Cups. Princess of Swords. Trust these disruptions to 2 of Wands. Dominion. Your home life, your relationships, your situations that you're in. Just trust the disruptions. Go with it. There's something so great coming. And it sounds like bullshit because we've been waiting so long, but it's really the timing of literally letting this cycle completely close out. Not just saying, okay, it's the new year, calendar year, or okay, I'm ready, I did it, or I kind of want it now. It's like, yeah, but there's the greater astrological purpose of waiting until these days, in these moments where we are transitioning into the new zodiac year and the new zodiac cycle, and that's why things are going to start now. So if you were disappointed, Priestess, just know that it was for something much better than what you've got now. Okay? So yeah, that was the Thoth deck. I think that was a really nice reading. I actually really did like that a lot. So that was sort of a closing out. We did a little ceremonious stuff. and some closing out of the decades just come to pass. Happy end of the year, happy new year, happy Pisces season, happy New Year's Eve, happy closing of the 2012 to 2022 zodiac cycle. Just as the Mayans told us it would be, sort of treacherous endings, but we made it through. The Magician, looking at you, King. Air sign energy. Prince of Wands, looking at you. Fuckboy bitch. Passionate little dick. Not like physically little dick, but you little dick kind of thing. I'm sorry. No oppressive language. Little Dicky, how about that? Just kidding. My name is Dave, okay? No, I'm kidding. It was a Little Dicky joke. Alright, change the subject. Secure the bag. Changes coming so you can get that. Changes are coming so that you can get that. Okay, I feel like this deck said what it needed to say, and we are done. And a couple cards fell, but we're going to leave them for next week's little... I don't know why I keep using the word little today. It's weird, right? Probably because I miss my best friend. If I was a little like her, we'd be able to go to school together, but, you know... Once you're big, you're big. Say no Alice in Wonderland shit, right? So, yeah. Love y'all. Ooh, sounds like it really likes you. Obsession, Leo, lust, physical attraction, physical romance, something sultry and steamy coming your way, or just a Leo in general. So, okay, that was a good run, good spread. I liked that reading a lot. It's been a while since I felt like a really good Thoth read. Maybe not. I feel like I say that every time. I'm never expecting it to be very good, but that was very nice. So next on the agenda is to just not really pull out the Cosmic Oracle, but just to read the pile that was sitting out, because it's pretty huge as it is, and I don't really want to like shuffle in more. Virgo at the top of this deck. And then what pops out is Sower of Seeds and Universal Harmony. So before I get into this, I feel like we only have 20 minutes until next ad roll, and I'm wondering if, like, do I try to rush this into 20 minutes, or do we just take the break now so we get an uninterrupted hour and just decide how much time we need? You know what? I'm just gonna roll a minute ad, because I don't feel like I need a break. I don't want to disrupt the flow too much, but I don't know that I'm gonna get it done in 20 minutes, but I'd rather take my break after. So let's just roll a minute so that we get a little extra time. Sorry, y'all. I kind of forgot that we were just doing a 60-second ad, and I was zoned out. And then I looked up. I'm like, oh, it's over already. Oh, it was only a minute. And then I think I ended up being 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Anyway, my bad. We got 40 minutes though. So, sower of seeds in universal harmony. Just know that every seed you planted along the way, every step you took, it was very much meant to be, and you're going to reap what you sowed. So if you're feeling confident and positive about that, then yes, good things are coming. But if you're feeling like, oh shit, what have I done? Then, maybe not so much good is about to be yours, right? So whatever happens, it is universally what is meant to happen in order to have harmony. Whether you have to be the good guy or the bad guy is up to the greater general universe to decide where our weight must lie. That's the thing, right? So, Virgo, duality, and Libra, law of compensation. This could be someone with a Libra and Virgo placement. It could be a Libra and Virgo working together because duality is between them. But it could be acknowledging two sides, like Libra is air, masculine, cardinal, Virgo is earth, feminine, mutable, and it's really about maintaining both energies. They also are consequential, so it goes Virgo, Libra. So this could be about that time of year. There was something that you learned how to do during that time, like September, October, like August, September, October, late August, September, all of September, and most of October. But duality, it feels more like maybe two people are working together to work against you. But law of compensation, now they owe you money, they owe you. They just owe you. That's so fucking funny to think about. Guardian angel, because somebody's looking out for you. Because people are looking out for you. Universal abundance, because what's meant to be yours will be yours no matter who tries to steal it from you, no matter who tries to take it from you, no matter who. You will be compensated for your work, regardless if somebody didn't want to fucking pay you for it or not. Trinity, this is about a creative time spot. This is the opposite of a black hole. Speak life into things because it will be created tenfold. Now is the time. And the healer is within. The healer must heal themselves before they heal anyone else. Who heals the healer? The healer does. That is test number 1. Ooh, face down, face down. Which way do we go? Okay, we've got law of transmutation and Gemini. So what needs to come to surface, especially if you're a Gemini or dealing with a Gemini, is their own power to transform situations, things, matter, places, energy into what they need it to be. It's time to study alchemy, Gemini. It's time to really step up and be yes, that's the vibe. Unity, sometimes it's about working together. And Aquarius. Got all 3 air signs, so we're feeling a heavy air energy here. Time to move. Air energy is movement, swiftness, action. Okay? Going with the flow. Kind of shifting with the wind. And adjusting. Making adjustments. Making judgment calls. Doing all these things. Okay? Yeah, and duality. For sure. So, yeah. Get that air sign energy and know that maybe your air signs might need you, especially Aquarius, whatever. But universal compassion, show compassion to the people who maybe lack it. Okay, that's sort of a lesson here. That's so cute and it's pretty beautiful. I would say. All right, that's awesome. That was really actually fast. It was way less than 20 minutes. My goofy ass thought that would take so long for no reason. It did give me a nice little head buzz. Fuck. Can't even tell if I'm sick anymore. I feel like it's just allergies because the seasonal up and downs. It's so warm today, but it was snowing yesterday. And it's all kinds of pressure moving in. More precipitation coming up. 222 on the clock. Just all sorts of things. So I feel like this was a great evening. I feel like this was really good. I know it hasn't been a super long stream, but it is rather quiet tonight. Thank you for everybody who did chat with me, and thank you to those who lurk. The views mean a lot to me. Look, 2222, love it. But at this point, I might just go. I'm not really in the mood to paint or anything. I just rolled an ad. I can't even roll any more ads. Like, I don't know. That was like really, it's early, kind of, but it's not that early, is it? I started late, so usually by this time we're either popping or we're not. I will be back tomorrow. We are celebrating the new year, or this is New Year's Eve, right? So we are kind of looking back, and I feel like maybe the whole point is that we're not really dwelling on the past, and we are sort of like gonna focus more on what's coming in and moving more into the future in this new cycle, welcoming new karmic relationships or karmic lessons so that we can continue to rise and continue to grow in who we are and what we're meant to be and who we're supposed to be. So I'll stick around for at least like 7 more minutes. I like to try to round off to like the 2:30 or 3 hour mark for these things, and you never know what might happen in the next few minutes, I guess. But yeah, I think I might just go. I think, if not now, it will be soon anyways. But yeah, I think the reason I started late is because, again, we're just not trying to dwell on these things, and we're not trying to give too much energy to the past, but rather just recognize and honor it for what it is, and that is also over. Yeah, exactly. You're like one of the only people talking to me tonight, and it's not, and it's fine. I think it's a very sleepy energy because we are transitioning from Pisces to Aries season, and so we can feel that in our fucking bones. We feel that in our fucking souls. We feel that. I've been like kind of cleaning, but more so organizing this today. Actually, been cleaning all week and just focusing on making the home space good and correct. Correct comes to mind for some reason. So, come correct. If you're gonna come at all, you better come correct. Let's just say that. And I love it. And I love it. So, yeah, any post-apocalyptic thoughts we got going on? I have this notebook. Okay, whoa, I got a lot going on here. I have this cutout of my silhouette, which I think will be very cool to trace or use in paintings or something. I probably can go in this box. And I have some scratch pads. And I have some loose ones in here. I don't know where they just went. And this notebook, whatever that is. So excited, but yeah, I got the scratch pad. We can do some art tomorrow, maybe. I want to do New Year's readings tomorrow, so maybe we won't do the art tomorrow, and we'll wait till Thursday to do more painting stuff. Love painting. Excited for this new one. That's the thing. I kind of need time to really think about what I'm doing for this painting because it's a lot more complex than the last one and a lot more detailed because I took suggestions. Oh, here they are. Yeah, but I love these little scratch pads. I love drawing on them. Different designs, super cute stuff, right? So there's one that's like already scratched I need to draw on. But yeah, just going through things, finishing things. I really love starting projects, even if I don't finish projects. But I very rarely give them up entirely. I usually do revisit and come back and see what's good. But this notebook I've had for a minute. I think I bought this not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. And it's been floating around with me for a while. Maybe I didn't buy it at Christmas time. But I've never written in it because it's this weird paper where I couldn't figure out its use. I don't know if you can see it, but also it's got like the Eye of Horus on it, or the Eye of Ra. I don't know. It's either or, isn't it? I don't know. They're different because this is I'm sorry. Maybe it's Ra. I don't remember. Whichever. But I didn't know what to use this for, so I'm keeping it over here because I feel like this is going to be the divine, or this is where those scribed messages will probably go, or it'll become a little spell book, I don't know. But I'm very excited because I've, again, carried this with me and contemplated it and moved it from place to place, left it on altars, left it in nightstands, left it with notebooks, left it everywhere, and just never decided, and then recently was like, you know what? I think this is very spiritual, right? my own little Book of the Dead, if you will. So, mwah, mwah, love that. Looking forward to it. This Aries season is the start of a lot of new things, and I'm really hoping that this year I'm gonna be writing like a hell of a lot. Okay, like a lot. I have so many outstanding publications I've been working on, and like books I've been trying to write, and research I've been organizing, and theories I've been working on. I also have this poster board. This is kind of an odd thing. I don't know why I'm even bringing this up right now, but I'm going to. Probably because it just keeps tossing around. And every time that I can use this for something else, I can never find it, even though it's just blank. And it's like, oh, I have one, but where did I put it? And I never remember in the moment. So I bought this so that I could draw a map like I did back in the day, kind of. I love drawing maps, but, you know, with words and pseudo quantum physics, if you will, spiritual quantum physics and random justification. But I started like a blueprint mini version of what I was trying to express, and then I bought that to be able to have more space to work with. So I don't even know, I don't really remember it was like basically the way the universe is shaped and kind of how it all works together. So it's a lot to do with like inner, outer, and deep space, what that means in terms of humans and planet Earth, and as well as how our DNA actually works, among other things, right? The Y files, if you will. And on the back, electromagnetic field, I suppose, or something like that. So that's something that I kind of want to work on, and I wouldn't hate working on stream. Certain nights seem to go that way anyways, as if you saw the whiteboard drawings that I did a couple times on stream. You can't find, there is one posted in the forums on my website. If you sign up, it is free, and you can collect some drips over there, and it will lead to getting a discount if you get enough. So sign up for free, access the forums. You can rewatch the stream in which I draw the astral plane and get in on some discussions. I need to give it a little more love and just a lot more activity, you know. I think that I'll be a little more vocal about who I am and what I do and my goals and stuff this year, because it's part of speaking your truth. I have walked my path and walked in my truth, but now it is time to speak it as I know it, as I live it, as I breathe it. And I think that will be what leads me to my own success finally. And I hope that you all have the same mindset for yourselves, or know what would be best for you in your life to be able to achieve that as well this coming cycle. So this has been a really great night. Thank you for those of you who were here. It's nice to have some privacy, some quiet, some chill time, some calmness, because sometimes we do get a little bit crazy on here. We do get a little outlandish, wild, and conspiried out. So it was a good quiet night. I'm gonna go blow my nose and stuff. I think we're just gonna call it a night at this point. So it was a beautiful reading. Feel free to watch back if you missed it. I probably will roll some ads, because why not make that little bit of money, you know? I'm pretty diligent about it, and I try not to let it interfere with the stream too much. Typically it's once an hour. It went from half an hour to once an hour. I don't know why, but that's good for us. And I only do it if I'm super tired or really need the break. So just understand that I only do it when I can. I keep in control of it so we don't get disrupted. So please appreciate it for what it is, and that's forced upon me as an affiliate, but also just a little bit of extra money that nobody has to do anything for or pay anything with. So thanks all for tuning in. Once again, not really coming back, just gonna be saying goodnight, and I love you all very, 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 very much. Honestly, because it's a quiet night and y'all have been so good to me, I'm just gonna do a minute ad before I go instead of 3. My little treat. Actually, fuck it. If you are a subscriber, you don't have to watch ads, so I'm just gonna sit here and chill while the ad plays. yeah. Um, just little perks and bonuses of subscribing is some random behind the scenes content like this. Me needing to blow my nose and not doing it yet because I decided to do this, and then I'm going to end the stream. Sometimes I get up and walk away and start doing things or cleaning up. That's another reason sometimes I roll a lot of ads towards the end of my streams, is because I just like start doing things to prolong the streaming. Because I'm like, damn, I got a lot to do. I gotta wrap it up. But also, I can doubly make money and do the things I need to do. That's cool. Let's elongate the process. Tonight, meh, not feeling it. Not, I'm just gonna get up and go, you know? So, once again, it's been great to have you. It's been great to be on here doing me, doing what I love, being myself. It's such a cool, unique experience that I have, and I'm very endlessly grateful for it. So, anyways, y'all, thanks for tuning in. I am out, and I will be back tonight, Monday evening, to celebrate and get some insight on the upcoming year 23333 with 3 viewers. Great sign, great times. So, thanks so much for tuning in. Good night, good luck, good morning, and such. I will see y'all later on. Stay strong. We've made it to the end of Pisces season. God bless the new year, and as it comes, let it be a great one. Good night, good night, good night, and good luck.